Hello, welcome to Wordsworth Model Railway. My name's Mike and today we have a Let's Build a Card kit. This is a new kit for 2025. It's a security gatehouse. It's printed out on 2 sheets of photo paper. The top one is split into 2 halves. This section here will go on to 1mm cardstock, and this section here to the right will actually go onto some 2mm cardstock. Underneath, this is the print only section. This is the pieces that we will use to cover any raw edges of the grey card or white card, depending on which kind of cardstock you're actually using. So to get us started, what I'll do is actually cut down this red dotted line, separate these 2 sections, and let's get ready to glue them onto our cardstock. So we've got the first page cut into its 2 sections. This one will glue to 2mm card. This one we will glue to some 1mm card. So we've got our printed cover sheets glued onto the appropriate cardstock. This is the 1mm. This is the 2mm. What we'll do is we'll just let this set aside just for a couple of minutes. That'll give the glue time to sort of cure, and then we can actually start cutting out these pieces, and then we can get ready to assemble and get this kit together. So I've got the main building pieces cut out. I've left these sections on here for now. It just keeps them safe until we actually want these. But we've got the security cabin base, security cabin walls, exterior, interior, interior and exterior. What we'll do is we'll cut out all of these window openings. Once we get those cut out, I'll turn my attention to the raw edges just on the base. All I do with that is I use some grey acrylic and just cover that edge, and it nearly matches in with the top of the slabs that are there. The raw edges from these window sections, I use a similar method with some brown acrylic, and it just tidies those raw edges up. So let's make a start and start cutting out all these openings. So we've got our first pieces cut out now. Let's put this one to one side. What we will do is these openings, the raw edge part, we will just paint with some brown acrylic. I won't show me painting these, but that's all I'm going to do, and it'll just take some of that raw edge away. So that's the raw edge of the window frames painted with acrylic. What we will need now is some clear acrylic sheet. I tend to use, it's for the overhead printers. Overhead projectors. There's not many of those about now. I think we've all gone digital, but the film's still out there, and the stuff I use can be used on inkjet printers. So let me get some of this acrylic film for the windows, and then we can start gluing all these sections together. So this is the acrylic inkjet film sheet I was telling you about. It's smooth on this side. On the reverse side it feels a bit dimply. That would be the side that you actually inkjet your print onto. This is some offcuts from some windows that I did a while back, but I just want the clear bit, so we'll get some of this cut out the right size for each section. So I've got my clear sheets cut out. I need 2 long strips that will fit under there and 2 short strips that will fit under there, and that'll provide the glazing, so we can then glue the outer covering sheets or walls to the inner covering sheet. That's the glazing film glued into place. What we now need to do is start gluing these sections together. We've now got each section glued together. There's 2 sides there, just saves on clips. We'll put these to one side, let the glue cure on those, and what we can do is we can work on the base plate. Just need to put some acrylic paint around this edge just to tidy it up. You don't have to, but I like to just do it. It just ties it in with the kit. So that's our edges nicely painted. We can set this aside again. What we can do now these have cured is actually get these glued together. How do we go about gluing these kits together? Because the kit is designed with steps on the end, step edge. Does it go that way, or does it go that way? Because both seem to fit. To give you a clue, if we get the print only sheet, right down here in the bottom corner it shows you the correct joint. So it shows the short wall here and the long wall here, so it joins just like that. That's our wall sections now glued together. What we'll do is just let the glue cure a little bit on this, and then we'll get this glued onto the base plate. Let's recap where we stand now. We've got the 4 walls glued together. We've got it glued onto the base card. We now turn our attention to the interior detail before we can put the lid on. Let's turn our attention to the print only section of the card kit. Step 1 will be to cut out these corner coverage strips to hide the raw edges on the outer edge of the building. After we've done that, we'll focus on the 2 desks, or if you only want to put 1 desk in, we'll just do the 1 desk. And then we've got the desk top, which was on the 1mm kit card stock, sorry. that will complete the desk. Then we'll do the CCTV monitor. You can have one or two inside, it's entirely up to you. So let's start with these. Here we have our 4 corner pieces. What we'll do is we'll fold each one into a 90-degree angle, ready to go onto the building. We've got the 4 pieces now bent to the 90-degree angle. What we'll do is we'll put some PVA down each one, and then we'll glue them to the building. So we now have the corner pieces onto the building. Starting to look good. Let's get our attention onto the inside. Let's make a start building one of these desks. Before I cut it out, I'll actually make some light score lines down all these fold creases. It'll just help when we actually fold this into a desk shape. This is our first desk. What we'll do now is fold it into shape, and then we can unfold it, put the glue on, and then put it back into its setting position. So we've got our desk folds, and this is what it'll roughly look like. It's a little bit hard to show you, but basically that will fold into there. That one will fold into there. So we end up looking something like that. Let's get some glue applied there, there, and onto this centre flap. So we've now got the desk glued into this shape. Let's see if I can turn it up. So that's how it looks. Can we get it closer? So it's a pedestal style desk. What we need to do now is cut the top so it fits on this piece here. Here we have the desk tops. It's on 1mm card. So we'll cut one out and then we'll get it glued to the desk. Now we have our desktop and the pedestal desk base. All we need to do now is glue this section onto there to form a complete desk. Now got our pedestal desk top glued on. Don't know if we can see that. We can now glue this inside our security house. So the first pedestal desk is actually glued in. I think I'll make the other one up and glue it in at the opposite side. We've now got both desks inside the security gatehouse. What we need now is, I think, just one CTV unit, and we'll maybe glue it in across this corner here Once again we go to our printout sheet and we will cut out just one of these. We've got our CCTV unit cut out. What we need to do is put some score lines in just along these sections here, and then we'll temporarily fold it into shape. We've now got our unit roughly folded into shape. What we need to do now is apply glue to all these flaps and then fold them all over to make a nice little CCTV monitor. We've applied glue to the glue flaps and folded the unit so it looks something like this. Just need to get those squared up. There we go, look. And that's it now, ready to go inside the security gatehouse. So there's how I've glued in my CCTV monitor. It just spans between the two sections. I don't know if you can see it. The light's starting to fade now. Now you could put another one in the opposite corner here, but I think I'm quite happy just with the one. Now the interior is finished, we can actually put the roof on now. Here we can see the roof canopy section. It's glued onto some 2mm card. This is the interior. This is supposed to be where the ACC and heating comes in, and these are supposed to be like fluorescent light strips kind of things. You could actually fit some real LED lights into here. Obviously now would be the good time before you actually glue everything into place, but let me get this cut out. We've got our roof section cut out. What we need to do now is put this to one side and get our print only section so we can get the covering that goes over this side and wraps round underneath. This section here is what I'm talking about. This is going to be what we will see on top of the roof. Now's the time to finish the roof section. So this is our 2mm card. This is our cover section. All we're going to do is apply some glue, and then this will drop in here and these will fold over to complete the roof section. So let's get the glue applied. So that's the roof section completed. What we need to do now is bring our kit to date into play. We'll apply some glue round here, and then this will go on top. Here's the roof now glued on. Really started to take shape now. Let's put this to one side and we can work on the next part of the kit build. The next part I want to work on is the air conditioning and heating unit that sits on top of the building. So we'll cut these 1, 2, 3, 4 sections out and get these all stacked together and glued. Here are the 4 pieces cut out. All we will do is glue these on top of each other, just like that. We've now got the 4 pieces glued together. I'm just holding them whilst the glue cures with some bulldog clips. Let's put these to one side and we'll get the print only section back out so we can cut out the covering. Here's our print only section, and the item we require is this little section here. Let's get these cut out. These 2 pieces here are our air conditioning heating unit covering pieces. That can just go to one side for now. We just need to fold this loosely into shape. We've now got our pieces pre-folded, ready to wrap around the solid inner section, which can now be taken out from these clamps. Covering strips are now attached. We can now glue this. Let's bring the main building in. We can glue this onto the main unit. This is how your kit should be looking. Let's put this to one side again and concentrate on our next pieces. We will now turn our attention to the barrier stand sub base. So that's these 2 pieces here. Let's get these cut out. We have our 2 barrier sub base pieces cut out. What we need is those to one side, and let's bring back our print only sheet, and the 2 pieces we are after are these 2 here. So we've got our 2 cover strips. Oh. And our 2 sub base pieces, and we will glue these, dear me, we'll glue these onto there like that. We've got our 2 base pieces. Let's put these to one side and we'll actually start working on the barrier cabinet. Here are the barrier cabinet sub bases. You've 2 sets, 1 for either side of the building. So let's get these cut out just like we did with the others. Here we have our barrier control boxes. There's 2 of them, so we'll glue all these together and all these together. Let's set these aside and we'll get the barrier covering sheets. Here we are again with our print only sheet. What we're after are these sections here. Let's get these cut out. We've got our 2 barrier cabinets ready to wrap around now. This is one and this is your other one. So we've got our 2 cabinets all covered. What we need to do now is get these glued to the 2 bases. We will now turn our attention to the barrier arms. So we'll cut out these 2 sections here. We now need to cut out these 2 covering sections for the barrier arms. We've now got our 2 barrier arms covered. We need to now glue these onto each one of the cabinets. The barrier arms are now glued to the barrier cabinets. We can put these to one side for now and we can move on to our next part of the kit. Back on our print only section, we'll get these stop signs ready to go onto the barrier arms. So we've got our stop signs cut out. What we do is we fold these over, so you'll have a front and a back. Let's get some glue applied and get it glued down. Now we've got these glued, what we can do is now cut each individual stop sign out. We've got our stop signs cut out. Let's glue them to the barriers. Now we've got the stop signs fitted to both sides of the barrier arm. This next part we don't need to do, but it just adds the finishing touches. These are the barrier arm weight counterbalance weights. So cut that one out and this one out, and then we'll go get the cover sheets. Back to our print only sheets. Here are the counterbalance weights, the covering sheets. Let's get these cut out. Here we have our pieces for the counterbalance weights. So let's get these glued together. We've now got our two counterbalance weights glued up. What we need to do is attach these to the barrier arms. We now have our counterbalance on each arm, and that's these done. We can actually move these to one side and move on to the bollards. So we're back to the print only sheet. These are our bollards and the red bollard tops. What I'll do is we'll get these cut out, and then I'll show you how I actually assemble a single bollard, and then the process is the same for all the others. So we've got our bollard strips cut out. I've cut out just the one bollard top, but there's the others there. And I'll show you how we just make the one. So to start, what we're going to do is get your bollard, and it's flat at the moment. All we're going to do is curl it. It just helps make things go a lot easier when we roll this up. There we go. So let me get this rolled up and then we'll get it glued. When it comes to rolling the bollard, I like to use a 4mm Allen key, and that's what you get. We now need to just glue the top on. That's now got the bollard top on. That's now ready to glue to the base around the outside of the bollard, the security gatehouse. So I've got all my bollards rolled up. I've still got the caps to put on, so that's going to be my next task. And then what we'll do is we'll glue them all round the base to protect the security gatehouse from any possible HGV ram raiding. So here we are. We've now got our security gatehouse complete. Got the bollards in place. There's the entrance door there. So I hope you've enjoyed building this kit with me. This is the security gatehouse. and it's on the website ready for you to download.